It's got to be real.
Yes guys, what's going on? So this Saturday night we saw a very peculiar fight, let's just say, between Amir Khan and Terence Crawford. Now, I told you I'm going to stand by my words, and I stand by my words and I hold my hands up, okay? Cool. I was very shocked at that fight, but I'm going to say this. Okay? I think it wasn't just myself that was very surprised in this fight. I think the majority of people were quite shocked that Terence Crawford was able to come out and put on such a clinical performance against Amir Khan. I think most people thought that Amir Khan will win some early rounds. Towards the mid part of the fight, he will probably get knocked out. That isn't actually how the fight went at all. It was, honestly speaking, very clinical by Terence Crawford. I thought Amir Khan put up a good fight whilst he was in the ring. Okay, so we're going to go over everything that went on in that fight. We're going to have a nice little technical breakdown, really get the gist of kind of a nice breakdown technically of kind of how the fight went, okay? So, first things first, Terence Crawford looked like the bigger man, okay? Terence Crawford was the superior tactician in the ring. When it came to speed, I thought they were quite evenly matched. Boxing IQ, Terence Crawford was far higher in terms of his boxing IQ. And it's funny, there was a significant size difference, not just in terms of the weight, but also the length and the reach advantage for Crawford was quite significant. So Amir came out in the opening round. Now, I see a lot of people talking about Amir Khan's right foot kind of coming over like this, which leaves him off balance and open to the right hand. And I kind of understand that concept, except I don't think by Amir having his foot more to the right and letting his shot from here really would have made too much of a difference, because either which way, even if his foot was out, he would have still, because the way Terence Crawford timed that overhand right was incredible, because I really don't see any way of Amir being able to kind of avoid that shot, because as he threw the jab, Terence Crawford literally, within a second, he knew that Amir was throwing it. He avoided it and threw it at pretty much the same time. Amir didn't even get his hand even back to this point here. He was already caught by the overhand right at an angle when his hand was extended. Terence Crawford timed it so beautifully when he hit that overhand right across the top of the jab. It wasn't the same mistake that he normally makes, where he's kind of dwindling and then gets caught with the overhand right. It wasn't that, and he did get caught with an overhand right, but it wasn't the same punch which he's been caught with in the past. It was a little bit different. The timing of Crawford was impeccable, and he caught Amir flush on the button within a click of a finger. Which brings me on to the next topic, okay? As the fight developed, Amir, I think he fought his way back from the knockdown, but I've got to be honest, I think Terence Crawford dominated him quite heavily. I think there was a significant power, strength. Overall, Terence Crawford was superior in pretty much every department. He broke Amir Khan's body down. I think the body shots were getting to Amir. In Amir's defense, I do think that there were various low blows thrown in the fight. That low blow that hit him in the final round was not the only low blow that hit Amir. There were several of the low blows which took place in the fight. But I think Amir Khan was getting outboxed. What really surprised me is when Terence Crawford went to the southpaw stance and he outboxed Amir from the southpaw stance as well. I think we've all got to be honest with ourselves. I'm going to be completely honest that I did not expect it to go anywhere near that sort of level of a fight. I think a lot of people are quite shocked that the fight was so dominant. Terence Crawford was so dominant in the fight. I think at the bare minimum, people were expecting Amir to put up a good fight early on and get taken over later, but that wasn't the case. I think Amir potentially, he started coming back into the fight later on. He did land some good shots. Like I said to you, he's going to throw that jab which loops into a left hook and land the overhand and land the right cross. And he did land that. He landed about 2-3 times. It's Amir Khan's money punch. But it didn't startle Crawford at all. Which brings me on to the next topic, okay? Where was Amir Khan's power and speed in this fight? Okay, I think there were some fundamental flaws made by Amir Khan's camp coming into this fight. I don't want to go too much into it, but there were certain things um, which I wasn't happy with coming into this fight. Um, but I'm sure we'll. I think these things in the future I probably will talk about, but right now I'm just gonna leave it kind of at that. Um, I think that Terence Crawford is an amazing fighter. I think he's put on weight and he's become a fully fledged 147-pound fighter. I think that prior to this fight with Jeff Horn, with Benavidez, I mean, it's quite surreal to believe that Benavidez was able to go 12 rounds with Terence Crawford, yet Amir was struggling to get to the halfway point. There were certain things, I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying that there's certain things, not due to Amir's age, which were not correct, which I think caused an extremely lackluster performance, but I don't want to spill all the beans. In the future, I think I'm going to come out with it, but right now, I'm not. I thought this was going to be the best of Amir coming in, but literally there was a small one or two things which I wasn't happy with. And technically, I think Amir fought a very good fight, but I think there were some other things which Amir should have done a lot better leading up to the fight, which he just simply did not do. But that aside, that is absolutely. It doesn't matter. He could have done whatever he wanted. I just do not think, upon hindsight, and hindsight is a brilliant thing, right? That he would have been able to negate what was going to happen in this fight. I think maybe he could have put up a better fight. He could have gone a few rounds. He could have put up a good performance. But at no point, in no world, was Amir Khan going to dominate Terence Crawford on that night. That was his destiny. He was meant to lose. That's it. He said, she said, could have, should have, wouldn't. It makes no difference. Okay, he lost the fight, and that's the bottom line. It's written. It's done. Moving forward, okay. Let's talk about the low blow. Okay, so there were several low blows in the fight. I think that Amir was probably. I'm not putting. I haven't heard anything on this yet from him. I haven't spoken to him regarding anything regarding this, but I personally feel like he probably thought Crawford would get DQ'd. I think that's what the level of thinking was. That low blow, and it probably did hurt him quite a lot. I think it did hurt him. People are talking about it being on the thigh, but when you're boxing, you know, your stuff's going to be moving left to right. You know, any punch near that area, I mean, you know, it could be on the thigh, but the glove's quite wide. You know, that can easily clip you. And I think even a shot, if you were to take a shot below the belt line, it's a very vulnerable area, is the groin area. That sort of area is very vulnerable for men. To take a full uppercut from Terence Crawford, believe me, I think it would hinder a lot of people. And I think that you have to judge it on this, right? That we can't just judge Amir Khan off this one situation, because let's face it, Amir Khan was behind on points. He was losing the fight. He was gonna lose anyway. And should he fought till the end? It's difficult to say, right? I'm not in his body. People are gonna compare it to Kell Brook and what I said about Kell Brook. I'll tell you the difference with Kell Brook. Kell Brook, had he gone 12, stood a very good chance to win that fight, and he was about a round or two away from being able to go the full distance. Amir Khan, on the other hand, was behind on the points. He wasn't going to win that fight. It was he would probably have had to score a knockout or some knockdowns to stand a chance at winning that fight. I'm not making an excuse for him, but I just think that is the situation, and I think that I don't know, kind of, I really don't know what went through his mind at the time, but it's done now. It's done. But I think you have to. I think Amir Khan has proved enough to us that him at his best, he's not a quitter. I mean, if he was gonna quit, he wasn't really taking a beating off Crawford. A beating was Marcus Maidana and Lamont Peterson. That's what you call. Amir Khan has taken some beatings in that ring, and this was not a beating. Okay, I mean, Chris Algieri put more of a beating on Amir Khan. Crawford, I don't think he put a beating. I think he put some good shots in. I think he was dominating the fight technically in many different aspects, but I wouldn't say Amir Khan was taking a thorough beating. I think him going through that route of the low blow, I think it could have been so many things. I think he probably was hurt. I think he was behind on the points. I think there was a mixture between that, the disqualification thought process. I think he was behind on points. So I think there was various things going through his mind um, before before that whole thing happened with the low blow. I don't really know whether it was. We saw between him and Virgil Hunter there was a conversation pending. But look, I really don't think you could judge me. I think Maidana, Peterson, all these, and I'm not making an excuse for him. I swear to you, I genuinely think this, that I think you can't judge him based on this one performance. You got to look. You got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Amir has proved that when he was young, he took beatings and he stood up to it, and we have to judge him on his best, not his worst. I think that's very sad to. Well, you wouldn't judge Mike Tyson by what he did in his last fight against the Irishman, where he just stayed sat down. You judge him when he was in the 80s and when he was in his prime. Vander Holyfield, he gave up early, later on in his life as well. So it's very difficult to do that. I mean, Kell Brook, he was ahead on points. He had 1 or 2 rounds. He was in his kind of his prime, if you will, and that's a bit of a different situation for me. This is a different situation. You've got to judge each situation on its own merit. Okay. I'm gonna call it a day on that. I think moving forward, it's going to be very interesting to see what Terence Crawford does. I know I've left a lot of things blank in this video with regards to Amir Khan. I've done that purposefully. Certain things I don't want to talk about, but we will talk about it in the near future. Moving forward, I hold my hands up and I apologise. If you want to leave the hate, leave it in the comment section. Okay. Amir's he's close to me, so obviously I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna try my best to break things down for you guys, and keep it real. But you do have to bear in mind that he is very Amir is quite close to me, so it's a difficult situation sometimes that I'm in. But yeah, comment section below, subscribe, follow my Twitter at BeRealTV, the Instagram, where I'm a lot more active on the Instagram now, and obviously make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Till the next video, I'll keep you guys updated in a bit.